What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be taking a look at ROM the Space Knight. So let's see what we've got going on. Let's check it out. As promised, today we'll be taking a look at ROM. So let's see what we've got going on. Taking a look at the package, we are still in the mini comic wave. So we've got ROM the Space Knight. There's the mini comic down there. He's got some new accessories, right? So you've got this blast effect. You've got these blasters. He's got extra hands. So a lot of new stuff here for ROM. I dig it. I like it. So we'll do that in a moment. We'll take a look, right? But first, let's flip it to the back. There you see the entire wave. All of the videos now available on the channel for you to check out. There are the mini comics. There's your comic for this figure here. Important information at the bottom. There's your blurb. In ROM number 1, the Space Knight ROM tracks the vile, dire wraiths across the cosmos, arriving on Earth to continue his pledge to defeat them. Back to the front, we'll take a card comparison. As you can see, these cards are in line with the majority of our Marvel Legends retro cards. That does exclude your taller cards such as Iron Man and Fantastic Four, Ghost Rider, etc. But let's get him out of the box. Fresh out of the box, he's looking cool, he's looking shiny, he's robot-like. I'm here for it. I'm a fan of this figure. It's a simple figure, probably one that a toy company loves to do. Not a lot to really put into this, but certainly, represents the source material, at least from the ROM number 1, right? So, liking what I'm seeing here. I think this is a nice, random, very obscure character to pull from, to add to the display. This is the kind of figure that makes sense for a wave like this. I know, like I've said some things about this type of wave, and some of the other figures probably would have benefited from being in other types of waves, but this is the kind of figure that I really do feel like meets the essence of what a mini comic wave or a comic wave, if they actually went full-fledged, would be, right? Just draw from the hat, pick a random character, let's go, let's see what it's like. And I see a lot of good things about this. I think there's a good portion of the community that is happy that we're getting a character like ROM. I would venture to say that there's a portion of the community that's like, what is this? What are we doing here? But I'm part of that first group, right? Love the random stuff, love the obscurity. Looking forward to getting this on the shelf. Let's take a closer look. Here is a look at your mini comic. So ROM number 1, Marvel Legends logo on the back. I wish these opened at least, but again, it's not something that's for me. But looking forward to see what people do with these. I also feel compelled to point out this is the ROM one is the only one that features the Hasbro logo on there. So I'm not sure why. We do get 2 types of blasters, so you've got a larger one and a smaller one, right? So give you a look there. And then your effect piece will port right on the front, and I'll show you that in just a moment. But just taking a good look at these. So they're simple, right? Not a whole lot going on here, but I do think they capture what they're going for. So I like it. It's a new piece, something new for the collection, and they should complement ROM well. There's your blast effect, so that does just port right on there, nice and easy, gives you that full blast effect from there. So I like that. I dig that. Something new here. And the same goes for the smaller one as well. So nice and easy. Moving in closer, we can get a good look at ROM here. So you see lots of new stuff, lots of new shapes. Design really comes through, looks really cool. Look, I think this is just going to be a cool looking figure on the shelf. It's super simple, right? So not a whole lot to discuss as far as the paint application or any sort of shading, if there were to be any. It's silver and red with a little bit of black accent behind the eyes there. So keeps it easy. For your hands, you do get 2 grasping hands for your weapons or your comics, depending on how you're going with this. You also get an open hand and a closed fist. So 2 sets of hands, but not 2 matching sets. For the articulation, the head will only go down to about there. Obviously, you're a very blocky body here, squared off at the head and top of the chest there. So you're only going to go down ever so slightly, right? Gives you a decent amount of look down, but if you want more range, you're cut off at that. He does look up pretty far though, so you can see you get pretty decent range looking upward. So you gotta like that. Now it is the double neck, so you do have the point at the base and at the top of the neck there. So you do get a lot of good motion in the neck, plenty of side to side, all around. So what it lacks in forward, you do make up in a lot of other areas. Arms will work all the way around. You will see, again, it's very blocky, so you aren't necessarily limited, but it is going to make you have to put the arm out just a little bit to get that arm around. Now the arm does go up to there though, and then you do have that upper bicep cut and that double jointed pinless elbow there. Nothing at your forearm, and then hinge at the wrist. For your torso, you do have that wide range in there, right? So I like that. You certainly get a good amount out of the bell in there. So that gives you some good leeway for movement around and side to side. You do have that ab crunch, and then nothing at the hip or waist down here, I should say. Legs kick up to about there, back only to about there, and then up and out to there. No upper thigh cut, but you do get the cut towards the boot area. So I like when they do that. It hides the line, but still gives you that motion there. Double jointed pinless at the knee, nothing at your calf or boot area, and then hinge and swivel at the ankle. The overall design, it's really unique, very cool looking. You do get lots of sculpture in the back area, on top of the head, in the chest, through the torso, the upper thigh area, in these boots, and then down in these feet. So you have a lot of uniqueness here. The hands, you'll see, especially on the open hand, they've done it so the fingers really look molded together as if it's one piece instead of individual fingers. You have all of this in here. You do get that red in the jetpack area. This jetpack is a separate piece. Now, it's firmly in there, but if you really had the desire to remove that, you could. You'd still be attached at the piping up here, but again, an X-Acto knife will take care of that for you, I suppose. And then you get this in here, this separate piece at the upper abdomen into the torso waist area. That looks cool. It gives you like some extra dimension in the body there. So overall, there's a lot of cool stuff here. It's a random character, but it does look pretty neat. For size comparison, here he is backed up against Amazing Fantasy Spider-Man, so I wanted to grab something on not so much like a super short side, but slightly shorter side, just to give you an idea there. And here he is backed up against our retro-carded X-Factor Cyclops, so on the Bucky cap, more of an average male Marvel Legends body style, to give you an idea there. So ROM certainly much taller. And here he is backed up against the 2-pack Grey Hulk, but this gives you an idea that, all the Hulks are effectively the same in height, so that gives you an idea of how ROM is going to stack up against your larger characters. And for one final comparison, here he is backed up against the 2-pack Rogue. I just wanted to see based on sort of an average female Marvel Legends figure height, how ROM might look there, and this I feel like gives good representation for that height difference. Alright folks, well there you have it. There is your Marvel Legends mini comic wave ROM the Space Knight, a new, random, obscure, pretty cool character, if I might add, for the display. So I'm happy in the sense that this really does dive deep into the coffers to find something to just kind of, interest me a little bit more than your average figure, right? Never in a million years did I think that ROM would be something I'd be adding to my shelf, but here we are. What a fascinating time to be a Marvel Legends collector. He's a cool figure. He's simple. There's not a whole lot that needs to go into it, right? It's 3 colors in all, and that works. Maybe some design elements could have been added just to kind of beef up some areas, but I really think this is a simple but effective situation, right? It did what it had to do. It accomplishes that, and it's going to look pretty cool on the shelf. I don't think I need to say any more about it, folks. Let me know your thoughts, but that's my 2 cents. Do what you want with that information. I do appreciate you checking out the video. Of course, you can always find me on any of these socials down here. Most importantly, though, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe below. And until next time, take it easy.